For Gus, obviously, throughout the regular season and playoffs, you guys have been a really good bounce-back team after losses. Why do you think that is? Is it days like today, kind of the prep days, is it the film? Why are you guys maybe so good and, at kind of turning the page?
I mean, I feel like we've been that the whole season pretty much. We always like to come back and improve what we could do better. I feel like we didn't love our game, the last game for sure, and I feel like we got a lot to learn from that game.
Right side, third row.
There was a moment in that practice when Bob steals a puck off the line with the paddle of his stick, and big roar goes up from the team. What does him performing like that in practice right now tell you guys what you can expect from him as far as bouncing back in Game 5?
I mean, he's a competitor, and he's taking practice very, very hard and seriously, and that's just how he is. He's a pro, and that's why he is that good, in games too.
Left side, third row.
Vladimir, when you came here a few months ago, you talked about, you knew you were getting into a good situation. Are there things that even surprised you that were maybe better than you thought from the outside about what this room was like and what your fit would be like here?
Yeah, I knew a few guys before, and was no surprises for me. Like I knew how the things inside this team, and I was not surprised, but it was very easy for me to adjust because every single guy in the locker room helped me when I came here. So it's been a very easy transaction, and it's very nice to be around those guys.
Front row on the right.
Gus, the first 3 games you guys were able to really limit their big guns. Obviously, they started to get rolling. What do you guys need to do to make sure they don't build off of what they did in Game 4?
Just kind of want to build off the first 3 games. I feel like we play with a little tighter gap. I think we let them a little bit off the hook in the 4th game. Didn't play as tight as we wanted as a team, and it starts with me and all the defensemen with a tight gap, and I think that's what we want to improve.
Left side, fourth row.
Vladdy, you've had the experience of playing at home with a chance to win the cups in the building, that whole thing. What was it like in 2019 when you were at the Blues and you had a chance to do that?
It's exciting. Like that's, if you look in a deep perspective, it's why you play this game. Since you've been a kid, you dream to be in this situation where we are right now, and where we have been in 2019, and just it's a good time to be alive, especially with this group around us, and I think that's why we play.
Right side, second row.
Vlad, you've known Sergei Bobrovsky a long time. What about his personality do you think it is that allows him to kind of move on from games like last game and just kind of be in his usual good mood today and everything like that?
I think his ability to come back, like Forsy mentioned, and he's very mentally strong. He worked a lot on his mental toughness during the years, and just such a good guy to be around. It's he always care about his teammates, always in a good mood, and just nice to be around him as well.
Take a couple more in English. Right side, Corey.
Gustav, it seemed like the message after Game 4 was we either win or we learn. So what do you learn after a game like that, and where do you think that mentality comes from?
Like I said, I think we've been building this thing throughout the year. We watch a lot of video, and everyone wants to learn and improve, and I think that's going to be key. I think we learned a lot from that game.
Do we have any more English questions? Coach is here. We'll start with Jamison, left side, second row.
Well, Coach, yesterday you told us you had a long flight, a lot of time to watch film. Just what did you learn looking back at that game?
Yeah, it unfolded kind of the way I saw it from the bench. There wasn't any new stories on there. So cut the video, get your meeting ready for today, and that's it.
Right side, third row.
Your players talk about how much Bob battles in practice and the work ethic that goes with that. He steals one off the line with the paddle of his stick today. What can that do for your players right after he's been pulled from a game, and what does it say about how you expect him to bounce back?
Yeah, I understand the question. Like, first of all, let's separate the two. So, all starting goaltenders need practice shots. they don't need practice shots. I was going to try to say something funny, but it was way offside. So I can't use that. So I just say these guys see so much, but he gets into the net and we don't go very long. And it's great when he pulls one out. So that's part of him and part of his relationship with the team. It's why we do some of those drills that we do that don't seem particularly contested. He likes that, right? So he's not a goaltender that doesn't want the work, doesn't want to see hard shots. He wants to see the hard stuff. And then he's gonna make one of those too. He's had runs of those where he'd make those saves, and the guys love that stuff, right? And then they chirp the guy who didn't score, and it's all part of the fun. There's no bounce back like that to be the second part of this. It's not like we were lights out and he had a tough night. I got him out of there because he wasn't going to have anything to do with anything positive that might happen. And fortunately, I think he got 25 minutes to get hockey instead of 40. We can get him out of there early. So he comes to play like everybody else.
Left side, third row.
Why are you holding back on the offsides comments now?
Oh, you have no idea. I get one line of question, and yeah.
Don't quite know how to follow that, but I'll take a shot. Everyone, when you go up 3-0 or 3-1, whatever it is in the series, you hear the same line, we got to match their desperation. Is it something, even for a team in round 4 of a playoff, that you have to see that desperation first to really understand what that truly means?
No, I think there's a lot of standard lines that come out with the volume of interviews that we do that make sense. I don't know that we're specific about our words. I think we needed to go through that experience. I mean, we would have traded the learning experience for a win, to be honest, but then you have to kind of embrace that learning, and this is true of sports. There are things you learn, but you don't get to necessarily keep them, right? They have to be constantly tested, constantly relearned, or the extreme idea is one team would win the Super Bowl and that they learned how. Nobody else gets to win a Super Bowl then forever. It's the same team for the next 25 years, right? So you got to constantly relearn, and that's what today was.
Right side, first row.
I have two for you. If you don't
Of
mind.
course you do.
Thanks. I know it's your job and everything, but how tough is it telling guys, hey, it's the Stanley Cup final, it's the playoffs, but you know, we got other guys that are going to play. You're not going to play.
Yeah.
And are you dreading having to do that, or did you already do that to get?
Yeah,
Lundberg
that
in?
would be the toughest thing, right? But by this point in time, you know, it's hasn't been Barkov, so that's going to be. Is everybody good back there? There's a cat in the back, and you know when you lose the top off your water bottle at night, and they get behind the bed. Yeah, that's what's going on back there. No need to look. So you're going to have to do a lot of editing there, George. It is tough. They also understand then for the good of the team, whether you like the coach or not, right? You do the right thing, you handle it as best you can, and you stay as part of the group.
And is there going to be a change tomorrow? It looked like Lundberg was back on that left side.
Yeah, I was certainly considering it.
Okay. And my number two question really was, Florida Panthers are naming a new, I guess, they're not with the Everblades anymore. Yeah. I'm sure you knew that was coming, heard it through the grapevine, whatever.
Got a guy on the inside.
Kind of rough, I mean, you know, that you guys aren't aligned anymore, or?
No, I don't think that's a situation that kind of touches either one of us, right? It makes understandably makes sense for our program with Charlotte, and then the proximity and ownership, and everybody understands that, and then the culture that they have there, the team that Craig brushed, that whole program that's been built, it's been like that since I was in Hartford, right? Since Mr. Kermanis owned it, they've got their own program. That doesn't change by affiliation over the years.
Back left.
Paul, winning in Stanley Cup is tough, and sweeping is even more difficult. You're still in a comfortable position, if I say that. At what point a comfortable position becomes uncomfortable?
Oh no, there's no comfort in the playoffs, man. Nobody's like, you're never in a comfortable position in the playoffs. You've earned your wins, you've earned your losses, and it's the same feeling. Every playoff loss feels the same. right? And so I don't know. Maybe other people get comfortable. I haven't had that for 30 years. I mean, but you're never comfortable, which is good, right? Just got to harness it.
Take 2 more questions, right side, second row.
I actually have 2 just quickly. Kachuk, Bennett, Ekblad.
All good.
All good, okay. Second one, what's different when the Stanley Cup is in the building and you can win it? What's different about how your team feels, how you feel when the Stanley Cup's in the building and you can win it?
So we'd say, what would be the different feeling going into Game 4 than possibly then Game 3? Because that's the change. It is different. There's the feeling of the goal sits in front of the game that's played. So in Game 3, the goal is behind the game. Can't win it tonight. The game becomes priority. But when you can, then it sits in front of the game, and you got to break through it or figure out a way to get it behind the game again. I don't know if that makes great sense, but what's foremost in your head coming to the rink, you know it's there, right? So there's just not a lot of places to experience it until you get into it. There's sometimes it's, you're talking about 1 game a year. Is that true? 1 or 2 games a year for 1 or 2 teams, only a year. It's hard to grab that, to experience it. So we went through it. We were fortunate to get a 3-game lead, so we're going to have the opportunity to feel that at least 4 times. So we're going to have opportunity to learn. It's not something that you can truly appreciate till you go through it.